What's going on, everyone? Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. We're going to be talking about Bbig stock, go over the data, and just get an idea of what exactly this stock is going to do. Because, you know, it's been a little less volume lately, a little less volatile. A lot of the times on these low volume phases, Bbig goes into this, what I like to call vinco shrinko, where it starts going down. But there are differences this time. It's not set up the same as it was in the past, where it would start trending down. First of all, the first difference is that in the past, when it was trending down, that was when it was already up hundreds and hundreds of percent. I mean, if you're talking about Bbig at $6 on low volume a few months ago, that stock was still up like 300% from where it started its initial run. And you know what? I'll just stop talking about this now. We're going to get into the chart in a second. Drop a like on the video if you guys enjoy this content, and hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. But with that being said, let's just get right into it. First things first, guys, Moomoo. Moomoo has the best stock brokerage promotion. There's not a single stock brokerage that competes with this. First of all, it's $1 to get up to $7,000 in free stock. People were mentioning that they got Apple stock. You can potentially get an Amazon or Google stock out of this. The luck is in your favor because all you got to do is deposit $1, essentially playing the lottery, but it's free. I mean, who doesn't have $1, right? They're also giving away a free AMC stock if you deposit $100 on their platform. This ends at the end of February. It says it ends tomorrow, but that's not true. They extended this promotion. But guys, $1 to get up to $7,000. Don't sleep on it. Just don't. It's a great promotion. The link's below in the description or pinned comment section. Anyways, my friends, I just want to talk about the option chain because February 11th does not have too much. It has a decent option chain, as you guys can see, but it's not anything crazy. February 18th, which is the monthly expiration, has a bit better open interest. We got 15,000 here at the $4 strike price, and then 29,000 there at the 5, and then a bit of a ramp. Even the 8 and $10 shows some love, which is very, very interesting, and that can add in to something else that we're going to be going over once we get into that unusual whales data. So that will be very fun. And then the April 14th option chain as well is built up pretty nicely, starting here at the 4. Tons of open interest there. Almost 44,000 there at the $5 strike, and then 6, almost 40,000. So April is going to be very, very gnarly for Bbig. And what these two expirations can tell you, perhaps we do get a run into February 18th. Last time we got a run, it started a week before the monthly expiration in January. So that would mean it would start this week, guys. But that doesn't have as much open interest as that January 21st expiration. So it is what it is. April 14th, very, very similar to that January 21st expiration. So hopefully that is where we'll get the run. If you guys did want to trade either of these expirations, first and foremost, the April expiration always going to be a bit less risky. It has more time on it. And the contracts that I would probably be going for are probably for this one, for the February 18th, I'd go for the $5 strike price. Again, super risky. It's out of the money, but it's only $10. So you could potentially load up on this contract right here. If we start running, this will go up in value greatly. I mean, on Friday, it was up on a 4% move. It was up 40%, right? So this could go up like greatly. And you can do, if you wanted to put $1,000 into these contracts, you can get 100 of these, right? And if we do go on a nice tear, that would be an insane return that you'd get on those contracts. The same thing here, but with the $6 strike price, it's about twice as expensive. But again, there's probably going to be a chance where this contract actually ends up being close to being in the money, meaning that there would be more demand for it. IV would go up, and it would just be a good move. So not financial advice to play any of these, but I'd go for the $6 strike for April 14 if I were going to play them. And then for the February 18th, I'd probably go for the 5. So that's just how I would play them. I've not made a position on those yet, so full transparency there. But I think they have a decent risk to reward. Getting into the Bbig market cipher, market sniper chart right here, there is a link in the description if you did want to check out market cipher. It's still looking pretty solid on the weekly candles. We're still on this negative blue wave. The general strategy for market cipher is you want to be picking these things up when they're on the minus blue waves, like you're seeing right there, what I just drew in, and then after the green dot. And if there's a red dot, so if there would be a red dot right there, that would be maybe a time to avoid. But in general, when you're dealing with it, you want to get it right here, 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 right? That's exactly how you'd want to play it using these longer time frames here in market cipher. And as you guys can see, this green dot worked out pretty well, this green dot worked out pretty well, and this last green dot on the minus blue wave worked out pretty well. So it's still set up very, very nicely in that regard. It gets a little uglier here in the daily time frame. It says it could go a little bit lower. However, it is pretty ambiguous, right? Because it's staying pretty flat. The momentum isn't crazy on any other side. And what I really wanted to show you here is this 4-hour chart, because the 4-hour chart set up absolutely insane. The general strategy with market cipher is, again, getting it on these minus blue waves. So the same thing right here, minus blue wave. But there's a bonus here because there is bullish divergence as well as green money flow. So this is what's bullish divergence. It's when there's 3 decreasing, or just 2, but 3 decreasing blue waves in this case. So with that being said, I think it is set up very, very nicely for Friday, or for Monday, my apologies, or tomorrow. And with this, I think we can move. It's also that green money flow, although it is looking like it's starting to subside. So this week would be the week to essentially save that green money flow right there. Also, what I wanted to talk about is what's the difference between low volume periods, for example, right here at the end of October to I guess the end of December, or even right here, September to the middle of October. And right now, because we're starting to get into these low volume periods. The difference is on the chart. You see those yellow X's, right? Those yellow X's are signs of whale manipulation. When there's whale manipulation on BBIG, it's getting pushed down, even though it's set up nicely on like a technical level. And this is also kind of where on balance volume comes into play, because I'm not going to get into that, but that's kind of why on balance volume will stay high when the stock is going lower. What we're not seeing ever since this spike up right here is we're not seeing the same manipulation. We're not seeing these yellow X's that we were getting beforehand. We've also got an updated SEC filings from Hudson Bay, their recent 13G, showing that they have an interest in a long position in BBIG stock. We're also uptrending now on these lower volumes. We recently got a higher low. So it's behaving completely different than it's ever behaved before. And I couldn't expect that we might end up doing something like this, like a cup and handle, right? I'm not here to just give like a $12 price target or anything crazy. I'm not here to give price targets. All I'm here is to show you guys the setups, and it's up to you of whether or not you want to agree with them. Right now, I'm seeing something great. It's up to you to decide whether or not you think it's great as well. But that's just how I'm seeing it. And keep in mind, guys, I was pretty bearish on BBIG since like $8 all the way down to $2.30. So for me to be bullish now, I think that is pretty significant in my opinion. We're definitely changing the tides in BBIG stock. Pun intended. Anyways, getting into the news right here. So Benzinga Pro, the 10 most searched tickers on Benzinga in January. Super, super interesting. The first one was SPY, or S&P 500, for obvious reasons, right? S&P 500 is the market index that everyone follows. Second was Tesla. Again, obvious reasons. Elon Musk, Tesla, Dogecoin, all of that combined. People are searching for it. Next one is Apple. Again, huge company, same thing. Microsoft, again, all of these stocks had earnings. That's why they're being searched. But number 5 is Vinco Ventures, right? And keep in mind, all these other ones, it's DWAC might be the closest related stock to Vinco Ventures on this list. They also have QQQ, which is NASDAQ, Lucid. I guess Lucid's not even similar. BBIG is the only micro cap that is trading on this list. So it obviously has that attention of the internet, social media, etc. I think it's even... Don't quote me on this, but it's not one of the top search stocks on Reddit as well. Moving in to the Ortex data, you guys can see that the short interest is actually down. There's plenty of returned shares. Now, when you see something like this happens, Sure, it could mean shorts have covered. Did shorts cover? Probably not. It probably would have affected the price in some type of way. If we go back 2 days of price action, I mean, I don't know. They could have covered over here. I don't think they did. What's more than likely is that there's 42.49 million shares currently on loan. The short interest is about 36 million. So there are some potential phantom shares that are on loan that aren't being shorted, being used to manipulate the data. I've seen stuff like this before happen, and at the same time, you're not getting the same utilization drop. With Progenity, you saw that utilization drop to like 98%, and that kind of signaled the top. If you want to say that the same thing is happening in BBIG, you could point to the cost to borrow figure going from 300% to 200%, but at the same time, 200% is super high. So this week in particular, it's going to be important to watch this short interest data because it is in fact changing as we speak. But with that being said, it's still number one here on the Fintel short squeeze list. Moving into Fintel, they have barely any shares available to be shorted. The short volume ratio is pretty high, around 40. Now, it's been going down to as low as 30. It's still high. Anything over 30 is pretty high, but on that previous run-up, we definitely were seeing it push 50 and 60 multiple times over. So again, something to at least pay attention to. And again, the failure to deliver, we went over that in a recent video, so check that out if you guys wanted to see that. Now, we have to look at the whale flow. This is super interesting because Friday was an interesting day with BBIG's whale flow. First and foremost, off the bat, a lot of people already noticed this, but there was tons of selling of these $8 puts for 2/18. So that's the monthly expiration for February. It's in 2 Fridays from now. And these were cross trades. Now, I'll remind you what a cross trade is. Here's the Unusual Whales blubber blog is what they call it. They're explaining a cross trade in other companies. Basically, it explains in easy terms what the heck a cross trade is and what it could mean for a stock. So as stated, the orders in this report were cross trades. Cross trades occur when a broker executed buy and sell orders for the same position from different client accounts and then reported them on an exchange. In other words, aka in English, for you smooth brain apes, there's an aggregation of many positions taken on both the buy and sell side. So that's what a cross trade is, right? It's not blatantly bullish, even though they mark it as bullish. It's an aggregate of a bunch of trades so that a brokerage can report it but between different clients. It's kind of hard to understand, but the general thing is to be mindful, and these orders are cross trades. There's no reason to believe they were opened with a directional sentiment. Now that might burst your bubble a little bit, seeing that the cross trade that we saw on Friday is not necessarily a trade made in order to capitalize on a directional movement. However, there was a floor trader that made that exact same trade, and this floor trader also bought the same amount of calls right here. So the size was 500 for the selling of puts, but also the buying of calls. So it was only 2K worth of that. And essentially what this could mean is that selling a $8 put option is similar. It's not the same, right? But it's somewhat similar to just buying the stock and owning the stock. It's somewhat similar to a synthetic long since it's deep in the money. But what ends up happening is that after you pass $8 in share price, there's no more returns because it's a put option. So they essentially get the synthetic long side of it up until $8 a share. This is where the calls come into play because the $8 calls, super cheap, only 4 cents, right? Super far out of the money. So if BBIG stock ends up going past that $8 share mark, they still profit because they bought these calls. So this person is essentially just synthetically buying a long position. Maybe they don't want to change the price up too much by buying actual shares of the company. Either way, I think this was definitely bullish overall. The rest of the flow here, besides for the floor and cross traders, was pretty bullish besides for this one bear, and that expired on Friday anyways. So with that being said, with the 4-hour chart looking great here on Market Cypher, the whale flow being very bullish, it's hard for me to imagine that we don't go up this week, right? Moving into the historical flow, it's at a new low, guys. This is probably where you'd want to be loading up on BBIG, right? Over here, when the call volume is super high, we've seen it before. That correlates with good times to sell. Same thing right here. Decent times to sell when that call volume is pretty high. Same thing right here, right? Now the call option volume is pretty low. The chart's looking pretty good. It's not a bad time to buy. And that's essentially what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Again, the biggest option trades, we essentially already went over it. It was very, very bullish. 80% of those big option trades were in fact bullish trades. There's some steam picking up on this $8 218 contract right there. Very, very interesting. Definitely coming from these put sellers as well. It could essentially be some type of a hedge right there. Looking at the max pain for 211's expiration, that's going to be $3 per share. But here at 218, which is the monthly expiration, the max pain is $5 a share. And if you guys don't understand what max pain is, that's essentially the price of the stock that would put the most amount of call option and put option contracts out of the money, meaning that the market makers would make the most money from selling those options. And that is typically where the stock price does in fact head, because people lose on call options. It just happens. And right now, BBIG is at $3.17 as of the end of the day on Friday. Max pain is 5. That's a pretty decent upside in 2 weeks, if you guys ask me. And at the same time, the gamma exposure on this stock is only positive. It becomes negative once we get to that 8, meaning that potentially we slow down after roughly around $5 per share. But still, that means that there is upside in this stock, and I am very bullish going into this week, guys. That's all I really got for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Drop a like if you guys did. I'm liking what I'm seeing in BBIG stock. I think we're at least due for a nice bounce this week. If not, who knows? We might get a little short squeeze out of it. No promises, not financial advice. Like the video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check out Moomoo if you like free money. Again, up to $7,000 in free stock as long as you deposit $1 on their platform. So it's definitely worth checking out there. Also, if you want all of my buy and sell alerts as well as exclusive due diligence on other stocks before they make it to my YouTube, Twitter, etc. The first link in the description will be Hootmoney VIP trade alerts. It gives you access to private Discord channels inside of my free Discord where I give you guys all the juice as well as trade alerts. So you can check that out as well. Again, first link in the description. Anyways, guys, that's about it. BBIG to the freaking moon. Hashtag squeeze BBIG. Get it going this week. It's going to be a fantastic one. And be with me each and every single morning at 9:15 a.m. for my market open live streams. All the updates will be live there as well on Twitter. So with that being said, I'll be seeing you guys next time. See ya.